Hey, happy campers! Welcome back to Camp Shady Birch.
It is week 178 here at camp.
And if you hear some noise in the background, it is because they are chopping down trees at camp right now.
Deforestation is at an all-time high, and I can't believe it.
Chainsaws are rumbling through our neighborhood right now. We actually just lost power for like maybe 35 seconds before we started recording, and I'm pretty sure our neighbor has cut a power line with his chainsaw. I don't know what he's chainsawing, but it's like the most inconsistent gnawing noise for the past 4 hours, and we're like, you know what?
Just chop the tree down at this point. Like,
What
just really
are you
commit.
chopping?
I don't know.
And let me say this about this neighbor specifically. Not my favorite neighbor on the street.
I didn't really get a good look at him or her.
You know why you don't get a good look at them? Because they don't look at us. It's like, hello, I drive past your house at least 4 times a day, every single day for almost a year now. We're coming up on a year with this.
And they look the other way.
They never look at us. I know exactly what they are and what they do. They worked on their nasty garage for like the first 6 months of us living here, and it still looks like shit on the inside because it's always open and it's a lot of plywood. And it's like, hello, let's get some finishings going. And they lost a lot of trees during the last storm, and that's what they're doing right now. But it's like, just hire professionals, because at this rate, you'll be doing it till next June, you know? So
yeah, so if you hear any whirling and swirling, it's sandwich out there.
I love our neighbor across the street. I love our neighbor to the left, and I love our neighbor to the right. He is catty corner.
Kitty cat corner.
And his dog, don't even get me started.
About that nasty Rottweiler.
I don't even know what it looks like, but all I hear is this yap, 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 yap.
Is it a tiny one?
I don't know. It doesn't sound tiny. It sounds robust.
Oh, God. Well, at least we're good neighbors.
Yeah, and that's not really our neighbor. That's just like a neighbor adjacent. So I don't gotta bring him a pie. But he should look at us when we drive by.
No, you know what? We should roll down the window next time and be like, look at me.
Well, the woman that lives next to him, every time I drive past her and she's getting the mail, which has happened a lot, she always acts as if I'm gonna hit her. It's like, I'm going 20 miles an hour. I know where my house is and I know where you are and I see you. Relax over there.
She's like,
she's so dramatic, that lady. And it's like, clearly this is like what her spice of the day is. Like, she gets to go back inside and tell her husband who's watching Wheel of Fortune that I was driving too fast.
I was almost just killed out there.
And
the new gays in town.
But
yeah,
this
almost killed me.
happened like 6 times. So I feel like she's waiting for me to start pulling down the driveway. Or the road, and she then starts darting to her mailbox to feel like she might be hit by a car.
We have neighbors at the end of one of the streets, and there's like a concubine over there. Like, it's like 4 houses connected on one driveway, and they're all like related, and they have one mailbox post, and there's like 4 on there. So Zach was driving, and I was telling you this, and he started to turn down the driveway, and I freaked out. I was so scared.
Yelling at me in the car. He was like, get turn around, get out of here, get out of here. I'm like, it's a public road. I just want to see what the front of their house looks like. And he screamed at me.
Because I feel like they probably have like shotguns and like cameras. And I think that
you're insane.
I think it's private props.
It's not private property. There was no sign that said it. It's also a street. It's on Google Maps. I'm allowed to drive down there. And also, when was the last time you heard a story in Massachusetts where someone shot someone for doing a U-turn in someone's driveway? Lived here my whole life, never heard that happen once.
Okay, but
this isn't the deep bayou.
I was trusting my gut. My gut was telling me, don't go down there. Danger awaits.
No, because Jonathan loves to be all fun in conversation, but when push comes to shove, he won't actually commit to the bet. Because he brought it up.
I didn't say drive down it. I said, I think all of them are connected by one driveway.
Well, we could find out, but you won't let me drive down there.
Why don't you just stay on Google Maps?
Actually,
I think that's the safest
Google
bet.
Earth.
Or
get that little orange guy.
I know. Yeah, drag and drop him anywhere, USA. Or anywhere in the world, actually. Soon to come, the moon. Can they do Google Maps on the moon?
No, because they can't get that car up there.
Huh.
That car has to drive around. It has to be that car.
No, it's satellite.
I'm telling you right now, they need to put roads in on the moon first, and then they got to have him drive around. Because the beauty of that little orange guy on Google Maps is that he's not going to work everywhere. And sometimes he likes to skip a few feet. Right where you need to look, he's not there. And it's like, oh my God, I can only see it from either too north or too south. But that's kind of like which you get with him.
And then he's like, God, I've traveled the world.
The
I
world.
literally do not sleep because once I have traveled the world, I don't get a weekend off because I got to go do it again.
Or a new road gets built.
Right. I got to update. Everybody's
He's
constantly
so-
updating. Like, it's too much. He's so busy.
So busy. I know somebody from high school that was in the picture. Yeah, blurred
Not
out.
the picture.
But like, well, their picture, which is a big picture. It's actually just one big picture.
Oh my God, it really is.
Wait, where was I when Google drove past my house? I would have came out and waved.
I wonder.
Showed my yabos.
Yeah.
I wonder
Interesting
what
to
the
think
Google
about.
Earth looks like in front of our house. A lot has changed.
I wonder if they updated
I
it.
sprayed the house with blood.
It's beautiful.
No. Oh my God. You know what? So, well, speaking of neighborhoods, I was in New York last week for a meeting. So I drove up by myself. I got Din Tai Fung for dinner. Okay, I made the foolish mistake of bringing up Din Tai Fun. Is it Din Tai Fung or Din Tai Fun?
I don't know.
Can you look it up for me while I tell this story?
Alright.
Din, DinTaiFun. Just confirm for that for me.
Okay.
So I told my manager, Kyle, I was like, oh, have you heard of Din Tai Fun?
Fung.
Fung. Okay, thank you. Have you heard of Din Tai Fung? Because I see it all over TikTok. And she goes, are you kidding me? Of course I've heard of Din Tai Fung. They're everywhere in LA. And I was like, oh, I think they just started making their way to the East Coast because I went to the one on 51st Street in New York near Times Square. And it's like,
Oh, you mean 1633 Broadway?
yeah, but isn't it on the corner of 51st?
Well, if I drag and drop that little orange
Oh
guy,
my
I can
God.
tell
So
you right
actually,
where it is.
it's an interesting location to see because this is right next to Times Square. And when you walk up, it's like a big glass cube. And you're like, wait, this is a small ass restaurant. Then you go inside. That's host stand number 1. Then they let you downstairs and the whole thing is in the basement and it's very chic and it's super cool. And I didn't know it was like a massive chain in New York. I mean, in West Coast. So Kyle's like, I go to the one in Glendale. It's a classic. They're always attached to malls. I go, say less. It's kind of like a Cheesecake Factory. Not really, but they put them in places that a Cheesecake Factory would make
Would
sense.
be. Okay.
So you'd like it. So you would like it.
It looks cool, trendy fusion.
So I go down, I get takeout because I've seen it all over TikTok. So I was like, really like, what do I order? What do I order? I got the bok choy, the green beans, the spicy pork and shrimp dumplings, and the fried chicken noodles. Because someone's going to ask and someone's going to be
You're
curious.
such a bok choy fuck boy.
Oh, I love, love, love bok choy. So I go downstairs and I have to go to the takeout section. Kind of intense, right? The takeout window, you have no idea. It's me and no word of a lie, 25 DoorDash drivers. Okay. And these guys, so competitive because it's all about the turn and burn, right?
Right.
So they have one line for like customers and they have like a giant section for the DoorDash drivers. And they swarm the counter with the takeout person with their iPhones, like over here, over here, over here, over here. And then they had to have a security guard come in and go, all of you, sit down. And then he would kind of be like, Elizabeth. And they'd all look at their phone and be like,
they were swarming the swarmer.
yeah, it was insane. By the time I got my food, right back to the hotel, it wasn't great. But
what wasn't great about it? The flavor? Was it lacking flavor?
It was just everything I ordered would have been better at its freshest peak. And I think something took a long time for my food because it took me 15 minutes longer than the estimated on Uber Eats because my DoorDash wasn't working. Crazy. Can't even get into that right now. I'm on Uber Eats. So foreign to me, by the way.
Yeah, it is odd. And you did it as pickup, like you weren't having it delivered, right?
But it was one of those things where it's like, oh, it was a suggestion of it could be ready at this time. So I bring it back to my hotel. Okay, so also the hotel I'm staying at in New York right now is called the Thompson near Central Park. I think it's kind of like my New York City hotel now. I really enjoy it. I think it's in a very central location to get kind of anywhere. Also, like they're really nice there and the rooms are kind of clean and a little bit bigger than your typical New York City hotel. So really into that hotel, shout out. So I take it up to my room. And I open up my boxes and I immediately stain the white sheets with
babe, you gotta
with
stop.
the spicy chili oil.
That's not coming out.
Oh my God, no, that's not coming out. That's
well,
not
it might
out.
because they use like crazy stuff.
They might
because their
know.
at a hotel, their towels are gonna
think about the
be
makeup.
so sharp.
Yeah. Think about the makeup that gets on them. But this was chili oil. And then so my food was so not good. I barely ate it because the noodles congealed. I barely ate it. So you know what I did to like make myself feel better? I DoorDashed or Uber Eats, delivery this time, insomnia cookie. I wanted Levain, but I was scared they weren't going to heat the cookie up.
Oh yeah, and you can't just have two bad back to back.
No, so
you go for a good room temp cookie.
And I had to get a 6-pack. Oh no.
Yeah, they don't deliver just one.
Oh, I ate all 6.
Wow.
Well, 2 the next day.
What flavor?
all chocolate chip. You
Oh
know
my
me. No, you
God.
know me. You know me. That makes sense for me. That's my
Okay.
journey. All that to say, this is all gonna make sense. I go to put on a TV show. The problem is, Jonathan and I, we watch everything together. So I was like, should I finish Love on the Spectrum without you? I didn't.
No, you didn't even finish Age of Adelaide.
What?
The Age of Attraction.
No, I'm over it. Because I saw what happens in the end. So I was like looking for a new show, and I was like, I've been hearing a lot about this Neighbor show on HBO.
Ah.
And I watched it. And what a crazy, incredible concept. Every episode is about two sets of like really insane neighbors, and they have different disputes, and they're all like crazy. It is 30 minutes of pure chaos every single episode, and it's new neighbors every episode. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure a lot of you have. I think it was like a masterpiece.
I thought it was so quickly edited. It was like bing, 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 ba, ba.
But
So
like
you watched
fun.
it. You watched it at the hotel, and then you were telling me about it because I'd heard about it.
Yeah, it came out like a big splash in the beginning of the year.
And then you rewatched it with me from episode 1, and it was like a really quick few watches. We watched 3 episodes, I think.
They're 35-minute episodes.
Yeah, and it's edited so crazy. It is so for TikTok brain. They don't let you breathe.
No,
They
but
don't
I
let you breathe.
kind of enjoy it.
No, I do too. But
and it's so easy to go on your phone while you watch it.
you think?
Yeah, because
I was really engaged.
I know I was too, but I was also in my hotel, and I was like, "Wait, what happened?" So you don't have to be like locked in if you don't
Right.
want to. So it's a good background if you need it.
And I'm not going to give anything away, but what I will say, out of the 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes that I saw, episode 2, the one in Philly, absolutely bonkers. When you think you've got a grip on what's going on, you don't. You absolutely do not. In 35 minutes, I feel like I watched an entire series. It was like
Episode 2
breathtaking.
is incredible. I can't wait for you to see the next episode.
I can't wait. Guys, hold on. So enough time has passed. I'm going to talk about
Yeah,
it.
I think you can talk about it now. Unfortunately.
This sucks. So I was asked by Wondery, the podcast studio, to
Not
no,
the competing network.
no, it's not a competing network. This could have been before we were signed.
Oh, it's true.
I cannot give a timeline though. They had like written out like a whole show for me, and they brought it to my old manager I was working with, and they wanted to do this whole series of podcasts where it's essentially the same thing.
Enough neighbors.
They had 200 plus. They had like a whole research team, and I was like, oh my God, not a whole research team for little old me. And they were doing all of this research to come up with really compelling, interesting stories that were like public feuds between neighbors. And I recorded 2 episodes that I will never see the light of day.
I wonder if they sold the IP to HBO.
Oh, I didn't even finish what happened because shortly after, like they were in talks, and then I switched management, and it was kind of like a weird, like in limbo space for this
Yeah.
show that was happening.
Like, we'll let
And
you know we're still pitching, we're still like whatever. And
well, it was like it was picked up.
yeah, it was.
And it was literally just little old me. And then Amazon bought them out. And
Yeah.
I don't even think the people I worked with directly even work there anymore.
I think everything it was just like bad timing.
Yeah. So
But
it sucks for everybody all around, because I'm like, I can't imagine that.
sometimes rejection is just God's redirection.
Amen, sister. But that was like the same exact concept, was that like the
I
stories I
know.
read. And I don't, maybe they will come out. So I won't
and
go
also
down
too,
that
there's
avenue.
still
But
there's still room for it, because I think what's missing from that show is the good details, the juice.
yeah, this was coming with like court documents, but like was written so eloquently. And also they were like, just have fun with like the script. Like you say whatever you want to say. So
You're
I was
so
like
good
going
at
off
that.
script, being so silly, willy-nilly. They loved it. You guys would have loved it. Oh, rest in
Have
peace
you
to
ever
that
had like a
project.
bad neighbor in your life?
Bad neighbor per se. I had bad roommates for sure.
But neighbor, not roommate.
I was an RA in college.
Narc,
there were-
narc alert. Oh no, what a narc. Loser.
First off, hold on. Let me just say, the reason I was an RA,
What does that stand for?
residential assistant.
Okay, come on, assistant.
Now, Temple University,
Temple Tina.
are you there, Miss
Temple Tina, step up, Temple Tina.
She, in my opinion, owes me money. Okay? I transferred to Temple from a different school, and I was not all my credit. This is going to make sense. Hang with me. Not all my credits transferred over, which I understood, but My senior year, I was going to counseling because anytime I had to sign up for a class, I had to go to my counselor, and she had to literally go in there and tick off all the boxes because I was like, why can't I do this on my own? She's like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. She ends up leaving my senior year. So when I go to sign up for classes, they were like, oh, well, the woman who you've been working with for the past 3.5 years didn't actually put your stuff in the system. That's why you couldn't sign up for classes on your own. And you are also marked as not graduating next year because you didn't complete all of your courses. It was a whole thing. So I had to retake classes that were just not checked in a box. So Temple, you owe me money. All that to say, I was like, fuck, I didn't get an apartment to be a super senior. I thought I was going to be graduated by now. So my friend was working at this building near the school and was like, hey, you can like probably get a job here and then just like live here for free to work. And I was like, oh my God, perfect. Whatever. I just have to get through. I didn't even have to do a whole year. It was like essentially a semester. And I started living there and I was #the worst RA you've ever met. Worst from a management standpoint, best if you were a resident. I was letting everybody get away with everything. I walked down the hallway. It reeked of weed
What were
everywhere I
some of
went.
the complaints that you chose to ignore? Like, if I'm like, what is like, "Hey, I need help with this. Can you go check on this?" And then you just didn't do it. Like, what are some things you didn't do?
This is bad. This
No,
is
it's not
bad.
bad. It's
Okay.
you wait, statute of limitation, it's gone. You're good.
But judgment is forever.
That's true,
I
and
was
that's what
younger
people
then, okay?
you were
I couldn't even
40.
drink
You were
when this
46 your
happened.
senior year.
Shut up. So there's this thing called on call, right? And
Come on, doctor.
it's a cell phone that I was I had my beeper. I was on call rotating weekends, right?
This
And
is so nurse.
no, it literally was so nurse. And the thing was, when you're on call for a weekend, the entire weekend, you cannot leave a 1 block radius. So like you could go like the next block over, but like pretty much the whole weekend you're required to stay there. And they had a device on the cell phone that you have, so they will know you have a question.
Was there anything fun on the block to do?
There was actually a lot because
A big block.
it was on Broad Street in Philadelphia.
So there was things to do on the block?
Yes,
Okay,
there
good.
there was a lot of
Then I'm
stuff that you
okay
could
with
do.
being on the block if the block is popping.
Yeah. Also, our lobby was like a mall lobby. Like we had, like there was stores,
What kinds?
frozen yogurt. I would get so much free frozen yogurt. Loved
Okay.
that place. There was a banh mi place. She would make me sandwiches almost every
Oh my God.
morning.
I love a banh mi. If
Me
you haven't
too.
had one in a while, revisit that. Keep going.
What else did we have? A tropical smoothie. Literally right there.
I
So
love
I could do, and most of them would give it to me for free because I was broke as hell. I was like, I can't even afford rent. I'm literally living here. I'm working to live here.
Just kicking rocks with your hands in your pocket outside
It was
the stores.
awful. So I was on call, and what I would do if people would get locked out, they would call, and I would literally have to get up, go downstairs to the lobby, unlock like the whole doors and all that shit, see if there was already a copy of their room key. Some of the rooms had master keys, some of them had to have a physical key. And if they didn't, I would have to literally rev up that metal machine and make a key copy. And it was a handheld one. So I was down there being like
You're a
locksmith, dead ass.
Put that on your resume now.
At 3 a.m. when I was like casually drinking a little bit too much with my friends. So I would get calls when this would happen. And like, I would go down to see if there was a key. And if there wasn't a key, sometimes I would just go back to bed. So they would be like in the building and they would just have to like be in a common space. I did it twice. Okay. I did it twice.
So
And it
this
was
is
bad.
actually when I want to end the show.
No, it was
Because
bad.
I didn't know you would do that to somebody.
And you better stop. So I
said,
really would turn the
Grab
other
a
way.
blanket. It's
No.
gonna be a cold night.
I would
On
turn
that
the other way.
heavy college furniture.
It was all of it had sharp edges and weird stains.
So much wood.
And it always smelled like ramen. I'm not even kidding. Like everybody was just making like the worst food.
Including you.
Truly. But then, so it was independently owned, technically off-campus housing, right? And 2 of the floors, it was 12 floors, 2 of the floors, Temple University bought out while I was there. So they had different rules there. So we could drink if you were of age in the entire building because it was a normal apartment building technically. But when Temple bought out the 2 floors, there was no drinking in just those 2 floors. So this couple was having like a nice little dinner. And then I think they were playing music a little too loud. Well, their neighbor complains. So I had to go up there, and I had to go up with a representative from, it was so annoying, from the school, because I didn't technically work for the school. And they open the door, and it's a 22-year-old couple having like a dinner with wine, playing music. And I'm like, hey, can you guys turn on the music, please? And I'm like so annoyed that I have to do this. Um, and the person I'm with realizes there's wine on the table and then looks at me and says, you need to handle this. I'm like, are you kidding? They're of drinking age. They're like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, but I don't even like work for Temple. Like, I really don't. And I was like, hey guys, the girl started crying. I was like, I hate this so much. Like, it's not even worth
Did
it.
you
I don't
make
even
her
want to
dump
graduate.
it and smash the bottle on her head?
No, I took it, and then you know what I did?
You drink it.
I left it at the door.
Oh, that really makes up for the fact that you left students in the hallways without
Oh my God,
keys.
thank God. Thank God. Okay. But there were some crazy
Did
neighbors
you get free
there.
housing?
Yeah, I didn't have to pay for it, but I had to work. They would call it free housing, but I'm saying I'm not getting income. So I wasn't getting paid, even though I was
How many
working.
hours a week did you work?
It was pretty much every day for like 4+ hours depending the day. And then the weekends, it was 24 hours a day for the entire weekend.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You need a stipend at least.
Well, they didn't give me that. So shout out to
Temple
CEO.
Tina. Collect
But
the coins and give them back to us. Donate them to the camp library. It's only one wet newspaper right now, and there's a raccoon who sneezes on it every morning.
my God. Did you have any crazy kooky neighbors?
When I moved out at 19, I moved into an apartment with 3 roommates, and I was thinking about this earlier today. My original rent was it was $325 a month
Where were
because
you
it was a
living?
2-floor apartment and it was 4 of us, so it was $1,400.
Oh, nice.
But I paid $325 a month for rent.
Score.
Isn't that crazy to think about? It's working at Olive Garden, and we had the top 2 floors, and the couple that lived below us was this elderly couple. She was on oxygen. He smoked a pack of cigarettes every hour, and there's all these signs like no open flame around the house, and he was literally like out there like just ripping them. And he was so crazy. He had one of those sedans that was a really wide sedan, and it had all those police scanners, like all
Oh
those.
yeah, like what are you doing with that?
He
Getting
was so weird.
Sirius XM for sure.
And I
What are you picking
remember
up?
I used to think he was kind of funny because he was like brazen and brash. He was just kind of like, he reminded me of like the old man from Up. Like that's just kind of like wide and square and kind of like
Yeah,
crotchety.
yeah, he
But
definitely swore a lot in that movie.
always wear a hat that said like Navy or Marine or something. Like he was a serviceman at some point. And I'll never forget, we had a bad snowstorm and we had to move our cars because there was a parking ban. And he called up the communal hallway to us and was like, you guys need to move your cars. And we're like, we'll handle it. And he was like, you need to move them now. Throw me down your keys. And my roommate Chelsea hated him so much. And she was like, I'm not giving you my keys. I'll do it in a minute. But he was like trying to get us to give him our car keys. Meanwhile, this man is like 150 years old.
Wait, did he live in the building?
He lived on the first apartment, on the
Okay.
first floor. And I went to work that day because I had to work at Olive Garden. And it was so fun to work at Olive Garden during snowstorms because they never lost power. And it was always really busy. And there was always like 4 people on. So like you'd make a shit ton of money and it was just like easy. And everyone that was there that came in to eat was so grateful you were open.
They're like gawking out the window. They're like, oh my God, it's really coming down.
And they're drinking because they're like, no one's really working. It was like a state of emergency. Like it was like fun. It's just kind of fun to work those days. And I remember coming home that night and the snow had stopped, but they had like plows everywhere. And I came around my street and the whole street was closed off because they were plowing. And there was a car that was parked like perpendicular in the street, perpendicular to block off the street. And it had like an orange like light on the top of the car. And I'm like, who? Like, is this like a cop? And I like get closer to be like, I live here. I have to pass. And it was my downstairs neighbor. He had somehow like fashioned an illegal like orange light. And he's standing outside of his car and he's directing the city plows. And they're not looking at him because they do not care what this guy's doing. And he's just like so in the business. Like he just had to be involved, but they're like ignoring him. And I'm like, can you move your car? And he's like, I gotta help the guys. And it's like, you're not a city employee. You're literally elderly. elderly. Get in the house. But I think his wife was so annoyed. She was like, go out there and do something because you're pissing me
No,
off.
that is kind of a good neighbor. Like
He's
think about
so
it.
funny.
He was used to servicing others. So
Yeah.
and his wife is sick and it's probably a little
She
sad
used
in
to
the
make us rice
house.
pudding.
Yeah, it's probably sad. He's sick of eating the rice pudding
She
and staring at
wasn't
the
like,
doilies.
she definitely was on oxygen, but she was getting after it. Like, I think that was her, like, her issue, but I don't think she wasn't like bedridden. But enough for her to be like,
Yeah,
I
you
don't.
can be on oxygen and not bedridden.
Well, I'm saying like, yeah, she wasn't like deeply sickly.
Got
You know what I mean?
it.
Like she was pretty cool.
I think he was probably just bored and like wanted to
I'll
help
never forget it.
and sometimes
Because it was
feel
nighttime, so I'm like,
important.
oh, it's like city officials have blocked the street. No, it's my neighbor who has illegally fashioned a rotating orange light on the top of his car. And it was so funny. I used to see him around town, and I always knew it was him because I would see these insane
Antennae.
And then my other neighbor's story happened when I lived on a different part of New Bedford, and I lived in this like second floor apartment. The people below us were like snowbirds. They were only there during the summertime. And there was this really tiny attic apartment that I initially looked at when I first found it. And I was like, it's too small for me. And he was like, well, we have an apartment below
The
it.
one that I met you in?
Street New Bedford. And I looked at this attic apartment and I was like, I can't live here. It's just too small for me. And he was like, we have one below it. It's a 3-bedroom. It's $925 a month. And if you want it, you can have it. And at that point, I was like so scared to take it because I was like, I've never paid that much to live alone. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna afford it. But my dad was like, take it, you love it, you'll make it happen. If it's your bill, you just have to make it work. So like, just get it. So I took that apartment. And shortly after I got that apartment, the apartment above me that I initially looked at was occupied.
Right.
And it was these two lesbians. And they were like my age. So it was, and this was, mind you, this was January and COVID happened in April.
Right.
So we all moved in and
then COVID happened.
And we had become kind of friendly.
And this was right when you and I met.
Yeah, we became kind of friendly and they were like so nice and sweet. But when they would fight, it was so domestic.
Oh my
like,
God.
Not that it was like, it's not good, but like the way that they would brawl with each other, they were oil and vinegar and they would squash it and they would be like, hey, sorry, you had to hear that. They both would apologize about it. And I don't like condone this at any point, but there was something about them that I think they just like loved to be at.
You think it was a fetish?
Not a fetish, but I think they just like both enjoyed kind of just being at each other's necks.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it was a lot of screaming and a lot of like breaking things. One time Kira was over and it was so bad that we stopped what we were doing and like opened the door and listened. It was so bad. And I see them sometimes too. I think they're still together actually. And they're so happy.
I met them on the day that you moved out. Literally,
Yeah,
we were you had already left the keys, dramatically about to pull away from the house. And that's when I met them. I was like, oh, I've been hearing.
I came up one day and they had all their friends over and we all smoked blunts and drank. And I had never met like any of them that much. And I was like, whatever, like this is what living alone's like. You just have to meet people.
I feel like they were never home when I visited you. Because I don't remember hearing or seeing them ever.
They worked like different hours. I don't remember what they really did. But oh my God, I'm still friends with one of their moms on Facebook.
One of their moms?
Yeah, one of her moms I'm friends with on Facebook. And she like developed an app. And she's like, it's in the Google store. And I was like, how did you do that?
Yeah, how did you even do that?
It's called like Laughly or like Laffy. And it's like social media, but it's only lighthearted stuff.
Oh my God, that's so
I think it's called Laffly. So if it is,
don't bring up her daughter.
I didn't download it yet. Your daughter fights a lot, but so does the girl she's with. They fight together. They honestly fight against each other and for each other.
I don't condone that.
No, I don't condone it, but like
I think it's toxic and I think they need to break up.
No, it's so toxic, but like, okay, when you're hearing that, campers, you're like, oh, this sounds bad. But like someone in this room listening also understands the gray of life. And there's something about these girls that like, it's just who they are. And
so you're calling them scrappy?
They're just scrappy. No, they're literally so scrappy. And I think they're just aggressive and they're aggressive towards each other. But I think they love the fight to make up.
Well, I really hope you don't do the speech at their wedding because I don't think it's going to go well for anybody.
Oh my God, if I was invited. Actually, oh my God, and they got engaged when we were together. So I don't know if they got married, but I actually think they got married. It's all coming back to me. Anyways, congrats, girls. I love you guys. I had no beef with you ever.
Because you were too scared to.
No, because they had issues with their apartment and they'd be like, did you talk to him yet? And I'm like, no, you do it first. I'm scared.
Wait, hold on, neighbors. Can we just talk about how you'll have to remind me of how the story went, but the mirror in someone's window That was bouncing off the
It was there, yeah, so upstairs, that apartment I was just talking about with those girls, they had a bathroom mirror that they would open. It was like a medicine cabinet, and they would open it, and somehow, this is what really happened, the light at some point in the day was reflecting off of their bathroom mirror and going back towards the house across on the side of the house, and it was melting the vinyl siding on their
I
house.
saw it with my own eyes. It is real and it's crazy.
And those neighbors I loved. I made a
With the
video about their
flower
pool,
lattice.
and I actually saw them, this was crazy. I saw those neighbors next door this Christmas time at the Old Navy in Dartmouth, and they were looking at me, and they were, like, really smiley, and I did not recognize them because it's been a little bit of time, and, 'cause it's been, like, 5 years or 4 years or whatever. I don't know, it's been a minute, and they were like, "Zachariah," and I was like thought they just, like, recognized me, and I was like, "Hi, how are you?" They're like, "Oh, we were your neighbors on Allen Street," and I was like, "Oh my god," and I saw the daughter who at the time was, like, a kid, and now she's, like, I think
She's
she's, like
voting.
I know, I think she's going to college, like, next I think she's going to college in the fall, and she was there, and the mom was there, and the dad looked like oh my god, it was actually funny. I remember him so well, but he, like, definitely started to salt and pepper.
Like me.
No, not like you, but, like, you know when, like, you just see someone, like, age progress a little bit, and it's like, "Oh," it's like, "Where'd all the time go? It's starting to
You love 5 for
fly."
fighting ass.
So, I just felt like I was like, "Oh my god, aren't we all just getting older?" So, yeah, neighbors, am I right?
Camp counselors will be right back after these short messages. This episode is sponsored in part by Aura Frames. Just think about how many photos are sitting there in your camera roll that your mom has never seen. Moments you meant to share, but just didn't. Lucky for you, Aura Frames is here to save you from sending all of those via text message. Aura is a digital photo frame. You load it up with photos and it cycles through them like a tasteful little slideshow right on your shelf, and your mom is gonna love it for Mother's Day. Zachariah's mom actually has one of these, and what I love about it is that it's constantly cycling through the pictures. You'll walk past it. Suddenly there's a picture from like 3 years ago you completely forgot about, just sitting there, right there on the shelf. And you can keep adding photos forever because you get free unlimited storage. We love it because anyone in the family can upload photos directly to the frame. And the app is so easy to use. It actually hit #1 in the App Store on Christmas Day last year, so you know it's a great gift. Make Mother's Day special with Aura Frames. Named #1 by Wirecutter, you can save on the gifts moms love by visiting auraframes.com. For a limited time, listeners get $25 off their best-selling Carver Mat frame with code CAMP. That's AURA frames.com, promo code CAMP. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
You know, financial stress has the ability to quietly seep into everything. It can affect your sleep, your mood, your relationships, and just how heavy everyday life feels. That's where BetterHelp comes in. Therapy can be a helpful space to work through that stress, the shame, and the anxiety that money issues can bring, and help you build healthier ways of coping with it all.
88% of Americans are feeling financially stressed right now.
I think a lot of us were raised with a strange relationship with money, like struggling means you somehow failed, when in actuality, that is not true at all. But BetterHelp is here with over 30,000 fully licensed therapists. All you gotta do is fill out a brief questionnaire, and BetterHelp will match you with a therapist. And if that's not working out for you, you can switch therapists at any time.
When life feels overwhelming, therapy can help. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/camp. That's betterhelp.com/camp.
And now, back to the show.
Attention campers, please meet at the old flagpole under the tall pine for morning announcements. Welcome back to morning announcements. No neighbors included. Actually, my story has neighbors. This is the part of the show where we read news articles to you that you actually might have missed, that we want you to spread like wildfire. Johnny
Yeah,
Appleseed,
it's
can you
me.
plant a seed and give us a tale? That
Hell
didn't make
yeah,
sense.
bitch. Okay, this is a soap opera. Okay?
Okay.
You follow this for me. And the names have been changed in this article. There is a public record, but I'm not going to be the one to leak the information. So I will be reading their pen names or whatever they're called. Okay, so we're in London. We're in London town. Back in 2018, Cindy.
Wait, did you change her name or is that her name?
Cindy, the names are changed. Don't try to
Did you pick the name change?
some of them.
Okay, so with Cindy, did you pick that one?
Cindy, I did pick.
I think it's just funny to think when Jonathan was like picking a new name, he went with Cindy.
Well, because I haven't really met a Cindy in a while.
I know one Cindy. I won't get into it, but it's just a really cute name.
I know.
Did you write it with a
it's cute as a
CY?
button.
How did you spell it?
Cindy.
Okay, wasn't sure if you're gonna go Lopper on us. CYNDI.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, keep going. I'm taking away.
Okay, so in 2018, Cindy gives birth to a healthy baby girl named Penny. That one I didn't come up with, and I've never met a Penny in my entire life.
I have a great aunt Penelope. My mom hates her. That's so bad.
As
So bad.
little baby Penny is welcomed into the world, I need you to focus because dead ass, these are real people's lives. As little baby Penny is welcomed into the world, Cindy invites Joe, the father of the child, into the hospital room to meet his daughter for the first time. Fast forward to March 2026. Penny is now 8 years old. This is when the very messy details of this case emerged after it was initially brought before the UK family courts when local authorities encountered legal problems when attempting to make welfare arrangements for Penny during this proceeding. Basically, Cindy had this relationship with Joe, right?
Yep.
And Joe is Penny's biological father on her birth certificate. But Cindy and Joe break up. Okay. And then they're like, okay, so now the authorities have to step in and they're trying to figure out custody stuff. And that's when they discover that there's another man in the picture. His name is Will, and he believes he's Penny's father. Cindy is like, oh no.
She's like, that was a crazy time and a lot was happening for me.
So Cindy honestly has no clue if Penny's father is actually Joe or if it's Will. And they're like, okay, well, I mean, now the court is actually involved. So we have to do a DNA paternity test. So that's carried out. Cindy's like, oh, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And when the results come in, both Joe and Will return positive results.
How?
They're shocked. They're stunned.
How is that possible?
So the paternity test they took is scientifically accurate and confirms paternity with over 99.9% accuracy. So you may be wondering, how is this possible? Turns out Joe and Will knew each other very well because Joe and Will were identical twin brothers.
Oh my God. Classic plot twist. The twin.
The twins. Isn't this like a soap opera?
Yeah, it is. Oh my God. So she was sleeping with both brothers at the same time?
So I originally...
What a dog.
Yeah, I originally
Woof.
found this article on Daily Mail and I was like, and there were no names. So I was like, okay, like sure it sounds like something someone made up and posted on Facebook. And then I did a little bit of a deeper dig and People Magazine did a whole article on this and other reputable websites and like The Guardian. I ended up finding the actual docket of like the court hearing and I was like, oh, it is real.
I feel bad
For Penny.
For Penny, because Penny is like, who's Papa and who's
No,
Unky?
Me too. You know how like identical twins, their DNA is like essentially identical?
Of course.
There's only like a tiny little baby sliver that could be different, but that could also be quite literally identically the same. And if they wanted to actually do the test to figure out who is the father,
one of them has to die.
no, they're going to have to pay 90,000 pounds, which is equivalent to 121,000 US dollars just to take a test because it's for both of them. And then even when they take the test, it could come back inconclusive. They could be like, hey, you're still both testing positive for this. So then it goes into like all this crazy detail about what's going to happen to the daughter. But in a judgment published last week, the appeals court ruled that Joe should remain documented as the father because, quote, it is simply not possible to hold that Joe is not Penny's father. Indeed, there is a 50% chance that he is. So
yeah, like Joe, you were there, so just keep staying there.
No, Joe wanted to stay. Here's the thing. Joe wanted to be the father. He didn't like think that there was this whole issue because it was only when they were trying to when they were going through the breakup. that the courts were like, oh yeah, that you could not be the father when Will stepped up. So it's not that Joe wants his name on Penny's birth certificate, but so does Will.
So Will's not the stepfather. He's the father who wants to step up.
Right, but it's not like Joe's like, from what I was
Joe's like,
gathering,
I'm
Joe's not a
good. I don't need your
deadbeat.
help.
So
Brother bear.
yeah, it turns out Joe and Will both started casually dating Cindy without each other's knowledge back in 2017.
Cindy knew. She's like, I'm dating this same man in different colored polos. Like, they're identical. So Cindy has no excuse to be like, I didn't know they were brothers.
Court documents reveal that both men had slept with Cindy during the 4-day window in which Penny conceived.
Oh my God, Cindy. She's like, whatever, let it happen.
This extraordinary case is the first of its kind in the UK and has raised many a question over which man should have legal responsibility for the child. The issue is understood to have been a wedge between the identical twin brothers who had previously been extremely close. That was kind of Australian, but you got it. So yeah, it was messy.
So we don't know.
It was dirty. It's been ruled that Joe is gonna remain on there, but it's kind of like up in the air. And the ruling said it is possible, indeed likely, that by the time Penny reaches maturity, it may be possible for science to identify one father and exclude the other twin. But for the coming time, that cannot be done without very significant cost. And so for her, quote unquote, truth is binary and not a single man. It is for Cindy to determine how Penny is introduced to this truth over time. So Penny's in the dark about it.
Well, do you know what they call a twin doctor?
The spin doctors?
No, it's twinologists. So when the
It's
twinologists come ahead.
Wait, a twin doctor? Like
a twinologist.
Oh, like a doctor specialized in twin, not like
and
a doctor
in the art
and his
of
twin
twin.
brother. Interesting.
A twinologist.
Interesting.
That's not true.
Did you make that up?
Of course.
Oh my God. Well,
it's
now
a podcast. Everything is a lie.
Not my story, because that is coming from The Guardian by Matthew Weaver, titled Court of Appeal says it cannot rule on which identical twin fathered a child.
Court of Appeal or Court of Opinion?
Wasn't that tea?
So tea-rific.
All right, take it away.
Okay, we're going back to the neighborhood for this one. This article's coming out of, I don't know. I didn't write the website down. It was like www.tv.com.
Well,
It's
lucky for
coming out
you,
of what?
it's in the show notes
Yes.
and or on the screen.
And it's coming out of Fountain in South Carolina. And the article, I will say, was written by Peyton Furtado. So a Greenville County man was arrested for indecent exposure after sunbathing alone and naked in his backyard. Wait, really quickly, a camper emailed this in and was like, you need to read this for morning announcements. So shout out to that camper.
Thank you.
I saw the email and I'm reading it. So yeah, did you catch all that?
Okay, so a naked man is sunbathing
In his own backyard and was arrested.
in Kyle's hometown.
And Kyle, well, my manager's from this area, so yeah, I'm sure she knows. He said, quote, laying out in the sun, even in the nude, there's nothing wrong with it, said John Sullivan, while lifting weights at his Fountain Inn home.
While he's getting an interview,
yeah, and he lives in this backyard, and there's like free weights in the back, a lot of overgrown grass. He looks like a biker. He's very big and burly. And he's like probably, I would say, late 40s, early 50s.
So he's like into nudist.
It can be a fine line between privacy and public indecency. Normally, Sullivan works out in sunbathes in a thong or naked and unafraid. He was arrested in his backyard March 13th and charged with indecent exposure.
In his own backyard?
In his own backyard. So it's a statute that actually carries some teeth. Let's say coercion statute. Indecent exposure carries up to 3 years and could land you on the sex offender registry, said B.D. Ashmore, a former federal prosecutor and Greenville County attorney. So Ashmore's represented a case like this before, and while he's not a part of this case, he laid bare South Carolina's law.
Okay, I wonder how close the houses are.
So he said you're free to do what you care to do on your own property, to include sunbathing and the nude. The problem comes if the general public can see you. And so then the question becomes, are they going out of their way to view you? Have you taken preventative measures to keep others, the public driving by or other neighbors from seeing you? So now it's gone into like, okay,
Do you
well,
have a fence?
yes. So at about 8 feet tall, half of Sullivan's fence tower
Oh,
towers over the yard.
I was like, "Oh my god, he's huge."
So no, he has an 8 foot tall
The
fence
fence,
on
got it.
one side, but
Okay.
the other side is made up of chain link and those slates in it.
Oh, yeah.
So Peyton, the one who wrote the article,
Well, how
said
tall is that one?
it's standard chain link.
But if he's laying down, you really gotta be a peeping Tom.
Well, it's a gray area. So Peyton said, "Have you ever considered building a more solid fence over here so that no one can see you on this side?" And then he said, "I considered everything under the sun at any time.
He loves the sun,
But
like, what
this right here, pointing at the fence, was $12,000 for that side of the house." Fences are really
Oh,
expensive. I think we can all agree.
they're expensive.
Oh, here it is. WYFF news.
Oh, okay,
That's who
got
it is.
it.
WYFF. WYFF is this. WYFF news for Peyton Furtado tried to talk to other neighbors with no success. The deputy who arrested Sullivan wrote in his report he could clearly see Sullivan naked through the fence.
He's
He's like, I have a fence. The deputy's like on the other side, like, I can fucking see your balls right now.
Well, that was a waste of $12,000.
He said, this is what he said, though. This is like why I chose this article because of what he said. He said, I think people look over here at a beautiful buff bull of an alpha male living a wonderful life from a car garage with a porch built onto it, and they see something they want to destroy, just like everybody else who sees beautiful people doing beautiful things with a beautiful life. This case, as of now, will be decided in court of law this May. So
Well, I can't argue that.
he is like literally this belongs on Neighbors. It's so crazy. He's like there. He goes, everyone around me sees a gorgeous specimen of an alpha male. They're so jealous that they want to shut me down. And all he wants is no tan lines.
I am just so confused as to like who called the cops
Probably the neighbor on the side of his house that's by the chain link.
and what kind of solution can we come up with here? Because I feel like it's within reach, but we're just not thinking of
I
it.
feel like what he needs to do is put the thong on.
Yeah, or
I
maybe go on his roof.
No, because it's not that kind of house. They're like ranches over there.
Oh, okay. And then like the mailman can see it all.
And it's pretty neighborly. I think if you can see over someone's fence, you should not be naked.
No, I don't think so
He's kind of in
either.
like and I saw what I was trying to gather from the video is like people can clearly see into his yard.
Do you think hmm.
That's like our neighbor doing that.
Oh yeah, but everything like over there is like either waist deep or there isn't a fence.
Yeah, so he had a really good fence on one side. I think if he wants to continue, if he has the 8 foot around his whole property, then I don't care if you can see me from your second story window from across the street. Like I have an 8 foot tall fence, like let me be. But the chain link with the slats, it's not enough.
No, it's not
So
enough. So yeah, you either got to pay up or cover up.
while he's doing this interview while he's lifting weights.
And he's naked.
No, not in the interview, but like that's just the kind of guy he is. It's
Oh
like so
god. If you
toxic,
could
but
cast him in
so
a movie,
funny.
can you paint a picture really quick before we move on?
Dog the bounty hunter.
Whoa.
Dog the bounty hunter vibes.
Wow.
Grab your bug juice and bear spray, campers. It's time to pack it up and take a hike.
Welcome back to Take a Hike. This is the part of the show where we bitch a little. We tell something to pack it up and take a hike.
Meow, 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 meow.
So, who am I telling to take a hike this week?
Who?
Well, if you're watching, I am wearing a shirt that was made by camper Madison. Thank you for making this for me. It's got Buffy's name on it and her face all over it because that's the love and support I have to show for the rest of the show because my take a hike is for Buffy, my cat.
Oh.
Let it be known, I do love her dearly, severely, and if anybody tries to take her away from me, I will cut you with a knife. But something happened and she really pissed me off. And in that moment, I wrote her name down on my phone and I promised myself that she pissed me off so bad that she was gonna make it to the airwaves about this. So a couple days ago, Zach was at the local grocer and he picks up some salmon fillets, okay, to make for dinner. And he picked up one by accident, right?
Yeah, I picked up something called Atlantic char, and it was next to the salmon at the seafood counter. And I thought that is probably just like a fresher piece of salmon. But it turns out Atlantic char is more like a trout. So I was like, no, no, no.
Yeah, so we had that, and we weren't into,
We're
like,
not trout pe
it.
I'm not I eat a lot of fish because I love you so much. I'm not eating trout.
I've never had trout, and I don't think I ever thought to eat a trout.
It's
Anyway,
just there's that's like my line. That's my line.
so I look it up to see if you, like, don't season it or don't, add any flavor to it, if it's okay for cats to eat. And I found a couple different sources that say, actually, it's really good. It's got omega-3s. It's great for, aging adult cats, which Buffy, hey, she's up there in the years, you know? So I said, "Oh my god, perfect. Let me just make the whole fillet, and then I'll shred it by hand like shredded chicken, and I'll put it in a container, and I'll scoop some out for her, and I'll let it cool completely so it doesn't get any bacteria on it." So I'm doing this. I'm doing forever. It's taking forever for me to cook
The
this. The
house
house
reeks.
stinks, and this is one reason why we just like will not have trout.
It
And
smelled way worse than any other fish you've ever cooked.
yeah, and I think that's why probably people don't eat it as much, but clearly people do. So I'm sorry if you do eat it, but
Yeah,
it's just
the
like
trout
not for me.
community cancel us.
And when I'm all said and done, and then like I take it out and I have to wait for it to completely cool. So it's taken forever, right? She's up my butt the entire time. I'm like, "Oh, girl, you're not gonna believe it. I just made you." I scoop it into her bowl after shredding it. And oh, that was the other part. Not only am I shredding it, but I am going through with a fine toothed comb. Is that the saying? Fine toothed comb? Not an actual one, but my fingers. And I'm pulling out fish bones. I only found two, but I was going through the whole thing because I'm like, my baby's not choking on anything. And I put it in her bowl and I put it down. She looks at the bowl. She looks at me. And she walks away to her dry food bowl, her least favorite food, and she starts crunching away. She did not touch. She's a little brat. She did not touch the food that I spent all that time making. I was pissed. I really was. And then she was up my butt for the rest of the day. She was up my butt today. She followed me into the shower today. She's trying to sneak a little peek behind the curtains. She's a little pervert. She needs therapy. That's what she needs. She was pissing me off. But I feel better after venting, and I love her. And
You spent so much time on making her, like, premium cat food for her to go back to her dry mix.
my jaw was it not on the floor?
Yeah, when she went into her little tower of dry food and was, like, knocking at it for it to come drop more, and there's
Yeah.
literally fresh fish.
The freshest food. It was literally like swimming this morning. I can't believe it. It's just like
She's like,
ungrateful.
"Actually, give me the chemical."
Ungrateful. Whatever. I'm over it. Anyway, love you, Buffy, if you're listening. She also was when I came in to record, she was hiding under your chair, and I didn't realize she was there until I put the cameras up, and she scared me. I
Oh
thought
my
it was a
god,
I thought it was a rat.
she knew that she was gonna catch smoke today, and she was like, "I will defend myself on the microphone. I saw your notes, and I'm not gonna sit here and let." So now she's probably outside the door waiting for her tell-all.
Probably. She probably is. All right, so that's my take a hike.
She's like, "Mind you, it stunk." My take a hike this week is I got bit by a tick on my butt.
Mm.
On my butt. So I was doing yard work in the yard. Now I'm cleaning up sticks. I'm picking up sticks like you'd never seen.
Picking
Like
up ticks too?
no one has ever picked up sticks like me. It was like truly a sight to be seen. Like it almost was like if you did a time lapse, you get sick.
No, yeah, nobody does it like you because you put them in your arms like this, and then you bend over to pick up another one, you drop a couple, and you don't notice, so you walk past
I
them.
do drop a few. Well, 'cause I like to multitask. I'm like, you know, a few dropped along the way to get a bigger grab is worth it in my mind. So I was out there for 4 hours picking up sticks because so many sticks. It's crazy. You wouldn't believe it.
That's so, like, 1921 of you.
No, I know, but, like, you wouldn't believe our yard has the capacity to have 4 hours of sticks in it. It was. But I also was going into the edges, like, I was, like, almost like a little hog looking for a truffle. Like, I was sniffing out these sticks. So in the middle of that, my sweet neighbor, oh my god, I did not wanna talk to her at that point because I was, like, in the zone, and she came out, and she was, like, in her garden, and I was like, "I'm just gonna keep working." Like, she's doing her own thing, we don't have to speak. And all of a sudden, she's like, "Zach." And I'm
She's
like,
like, "I know you're out here, you know I'm out here."
but we had, like, played this game where we ignore each other for, like, 10 minutes, or I think she was finally like, "Okay, I'm just gonna say it because she wanted to talk." So I go over and talk to her because she's so sweet, and she was warning me that she's like, "The ticks are bad right now, so just we've already found 2 on our dog," and her dog is black. So you know what she does? She uses a lint roller. Smart. So, I was like, all that to say is I come in and I check myself for ticks, and I found one right under my boob. On the side of my boob, it was crawling across my chest, a tick, a deer tick. I said, "No, no, no, no." So I flush it. Then that was probably around like 5. Then we go out to dinner. I get into bed that night and I'm scratching my butt as one does in bed. And underneath my butt cheek, where the cheek meets the thigh,
Cheek to cheek, Lady Gaga.
I go, "What? What's this little crumbleina? What's in my pants?" A tick was attached to my butt.
Mhm.
So, it was so scary.
It was scary.
I
And
was like,
I checked, like, your head, and I was
yeah,
checking
but
you,
we weren't
like a
checking.
little primate.
He didn't say cough, and that's what we were missing.
Yeah, because
Spread
it
him and
was literally
cough.
trying to get in your rectum.
It was trying to lay babies. So I was really scared. And then we went to bed that night. Well, Jonathan went to bed and then I spiraled and thought I had Lyme disease all night. And I was like on Google, I was like, okay, early symptoms of Lyme disease. I don't think I have it, but what I will say is like it was really itchy for a long time and it subsided, but I haven't gone down there with a scope or a camera.
Well, let's do
So
that after
I'm gonna
this.
check to see if there's any sort of bullseye because that's when you know it's bad. But I will say the itching and the bump has gone down. But tick season is upon us, everybody. It's not a joke, especially here at camp. So keep the high socks on and the good vibes rolling.
Camp counselors will be right back after these short messages. This episode is sponsored in part by Boll Branch. I'm going to ask you something personal and I need you to answer honestly. Are your bed sheets raggedy? Are they pilling? Are they ready to be laid to rest? Well, baby, the solution is simple, and that is where Boll Branch comes in. Their signature sheets come in designs and colors for every bedroom style and mattress size. The material so buttery soft and gets softer with every single wash. We spend about a third of our lives in bed, so quality and comfort are non-negotiable. We love our Boll Branch sheets. Personally, I've bought these sheets for my parents. I bought another set for their guest room for when I stay there, and also for my brother. I am not fabricating, see what I did there? But really, I did just buy them for so many people. So genuinely, I love Boll Branch sheets. Upgrade your sleep with Boll Branch. Get 15% off your first order plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com/camp and use code CAMP. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/camp. Use code CAMP to unlock 15% off. Exclusions apply. See site for details. And now, back to the show.
Do you think the new counselor likes the top bunk or the bottom bunk? Over.
Either way, I'm giving them my boondoggle keychain. Over.
Welcome back to Camper Crush of the Week. Kissy, kissy, goopy, goopy. What you loving, Jonathan?
What am I loving? My camper crush of the week is my new preferred drink, which is a pear martini. I have been on my pear martini BS. Now, I haven't really drank that much in the past few months, but every time that I do, you best believe that I have an ice cold glass in the shape of a martini glass, which is just a martini glass. And it's filled with pear puree and Grey Goose. And that is my what?
I don't think it's pear puree, is it?
Well, pear.
It's
Well,
probably
sometimes.
pear vodka.
Well, no, because you're not drinking them. I am. And when you get to the bottom, there's like a little bit of baby food. It's like,
Is there really?
yeah, it's like milky.
Oh, I
It's like,
stand
it's like,
corrected.
you know how it's mealy?
I hate that.
I know you do. And I don't know what it is about pears because I'm like the only person who's going to die on this hill for the pears. But I feel, and I know that Mother Nature is even against us, but I feel like pear is a spring summer. When in reality they are ripened in August into the
So
October winter.
I think pear is fall winter.
And that's technically what they are. But to me, I'm like, oh my God, pear is so good. So we actually were out to dinner last night and I ordered a pear martini and she's like, oh, sorry, we just ended the season. I was like, what? It's March. Like, no, it's April actually.
Yeah.
And that's when it really came to me that I'm like, oh yeah, so like places aren't, it's going to be kind of difficult this year. So I'm going to have to make my own.
To announce your camper crush at the end of her life is kind of sad.
No, because
It's
I'm
poetic
extending
even.
it. I'm extending it is what I'm doing.
Oh, it's a hot pear summer?
It's a hot, in this pear-shaped frame? Hell yeah.
I'll go on record. I hate pears. Hate them. Hate them. Hate them.
Well, I love pears, and pear martinis are on my menu, but
It's a chic drink.
It is a chic. Oh my God, I like it, but I don't really. The one that we go to puts like a freeze-dried one and it's cut in half. It kind of looks like an asshole or like a, I don't know, nipple. It's a weird,
But
it
you
looks like
like
a
that
body part.
martini. You always have
I
3.
love that martini, but I don't need the garnish like that. It's kind of creepy.
Just say no garnish.
But I want like a little sliver of an actual pear, but they don't always have it. But I'm fine without a garnish. But I do fear apple teenies are on the rise for me as well. I think that might be but those are gonna attract so many wasps. We're gonna have ants. That's for sure. If I'm drinking those around
You shaking a
Cameron,
martini with a headscarf on
we are gonna
all
have
summer.
ants.
Oh, the ants will be terrible.
It's ants and terrible this time of year. I've simply got to drink something to get me through it. Okay, so pear martinis. If you find yourself out at a restaurant and it's on the menu, you got it with Grey Goose because that's what I'm sipping, and it's almost like you're sipping with me, like the blood of Christ. I wasn't gonna say it, but I said it. So what you up to?
Someone just said something so funny, and it makes me think, like, laugh out loud. So, and I'll just say, I wasn't gonna talk about this, but that just reminded me of it. Someone said the Last Supper is so cunty. Because, like,
The
Jesus,
what?
the Last Supper, like, this is someone else's idea, but it's just facts, or of the Bible at least. Jesus gathered all of his best friends the night before he was like night before he got like treasoned or whatever, or like they came for him.
Crucified?
Well, he wasn't crucified the next day. He was kind of like captured.
Well, technically, like the Julie Andrews calendar of it all is.
You didn't even read the Bible. So Jesus gathered all of his friends, right? And the idea of him gathering them there for dinner, like it's all wine and apps. And he's like, hey, just want to go on record and saying that I know somebody in this room right now betrayed me, and I know exactly who it is, and I'm gonna leave it there. Like, not Jesus, low-key being the original Bravo. Like,
Housewives of Jerusalem.
no, it really is such a treat. I have to figure out what creator said that, because that was just really funny for me to watch. That's not even my crush of the week. I just think that was such an enjoyable
Yeah, that was an interesting perspective.
Thank you. No, but my crush of the week this week goes out to when a musical artist rips those damn headphones out and really gives it to us.
Oh.
Don't you love when you see a video of like a rock star or a rock chick up on the stage and she's getting kind of frustrated? She's like, I can't hear myself. And then she pulls those stupid little headphones out of her ears and she seems like kind of angry, but then she delivers like a vocal you've never heard before. And you're like, wow. How exciting is that?
The
best.
earpiece, yeah.
The
It really is
earpiece.
like electric.
So I looked up why people do that. A lot of conversation on Reddit about it. A lot of people on Reddit were like, what is this? A couple of different things. First of all, it could just be like, like it could actually just be like they're not hearing the right thing. Also, maybe they want to connect with the audience and they can't really hear the audience.
Yeah.
So they want to hear them sing. Or they're talking to somebody else in the band and they can't hear them. Or they just know the song so well that they don't feel like they need it in their ear at that point, and they want to be able to like fully be in the moment.
Maybe the venue's right, but I do know from our experience being on stage and not even singing, and if there's an echo in like a bigger space, it does like throw you off. So if you're in a huge space and there's an echo reverberating.
It's usually like in a certain moment. It's not like the whole time. You know what I mean?
When like Taylor Swift pops it out of her ear and she's like, and you can finally hear it because I guess you can't hear anything with those on.
Exactly. So
there is an account where it says like, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's like what artists hear in their ear.org or something like that. I was watching the Sabrina Carpenter one and she's performing and she has her earpiece in and you can hear what her earpiece hears. It's like 3, 2, 1, bridge. And it like is like a metronome, like a robot in her ear.
She doesn't hear any of the band or the music. It's just Benton metronome.
I think it's both. I think it is really mostly to keep you on beat because you also have your other ear that you're hearing. You know, I think it's to keep you on track.
Yeah, it's sometimes I do double ear.
And sometimes that's necessary, you know?
We don't know, but I just love that moment of slight rage into
aha. That was embarrassing.
Because life is really about getting through that rage to get to the
aha.
No, I can't wait to hear that one back. Thank you, Jonathan. What song's been stuck in your head all week? Welcome to Camp Songs. Welcome back to Camp Songs. What song's been stuck in your head all week? You guys never tell us, but we'll tell you. And as always, there is a podcast playlist. Sorry, there's a playlist. It's got all these songs on there.
They're like, yeah, we freaking know.
You know what? It's 22 hours long.
I think it's longer than that. For the past 3 episodes, I haven't updated it because I haven't had time, and I'm so sorry about that, but I'm
Can you
gonna update it
update them?
today. I will update it today.
Okay, well then it will be almost 24 hours.
My
It'll be fine.
post-podcast, like, synchronicities it's a lot, but I
They
will.
don't need to have the peek behind the curtain. They're here for fun.
Period. Okay. Well, with that, I will tell you, my camp song that I'm adding, and I promise I'm gonna add it, is "Are You That Somebody" by Aaliyah.
Can you sing a little?
I'm the man from the big VA.
Oh. Thank God we have that on camera.
Kevin, actually, just delete this whole episode. Delete all of it. Now I'm just high. Okay, so if you
What? Yeah.
but you know the song. It's
I
the
don't
baby
think I
cooing.
do.
Tell me that somebody, you know, baby
Oh,
girl. Yeah, it's the baby cooing.
Okay, I think to start with that is so funny. Now I understand, but that was like,
Okay.
I was almost out of this world
Y'all,
because I was like, what? How Aaliyah doesn't sound like that.
no, it's the baby
Yeah.
cooing in the background of this song because for some reason there's a baby cooing in the background of
Well,
the song.
sometimes you gotta bring your kid to work.
First off, the music video, iconic, love it. She's holding a falcon on her arm.
Cool.
Don't know why.
Is she wearing a glove?
Yes, she has to.
You literally have to. You can't get
She's
around
wearing a
it.
glove, and it's all like it's very like it's candy coated nights. It's like silver everywhere. It's like TLC.
Was she involved?
What?
Candy coated?
I wouldn't doubt it, but not with this one in particular. I do have a fun fact about this one. So the entire song was written, recorded, mixed, and mastered in 4 hours.
Girl, I gotta watch my back because I'm not just anybody.
Isn't that crazy? Did you hear about that?
Sorry.
Written, recorded, mixed, mastered.
And how long?
4 hours.
That's not true.
Timbaland,
That's not true.
listen, got a call at 4 a.m. from Aaliyah's manager saying she was contracted to deliver a theme song for the Dr. Dolittle movie and they needed it now. Somebody else dropped out.
That was the Dr. Dolittle theme song?
Yeah, I just learned that as well. I thought it was the song before, but it was for Dr. Dolittle. So the song was finished by 8 a.m. and on the radio by 10 a.m. that morning. Crazy. Okay, so the beat, he said, now this is crazy. The beat was inspired by the Oompa Loompa song from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Timbaland said he took the rhythm and tried to recreate it in a hip hop way. His exact quote, I gotta thank Willy Wonka for that.
I love Timberland.
Now, the question that's on everyone's mind, and campers, if you think you don't know this song, just play it for a second and you're going to say, oh, okay, yeah, no, I do know the song. Question that's on everybody's mind is that iconic baby cooing sound. Like you're listening to, you're like, wait, is that a baby in the background? So it's always been a question of who the heck is that?
Is it a real baby?
The iconic baby cooing sound came from a 1964 sound effects album called Authentic Sound Effects Volume 8. The specific track was literally titled Happy Baby. Timbaland found it while he was scrolling through his CD of random sound effects for the song. When he played it out loud in the studio, Aaliyah was on the couch next to him and said, "Oh my God, that's so cute." So a journalist named Jeremy D. Larson went on an entire investigation to find out who this baby was on the Aaliyah track. After taking to 5 industry veterans, he tracked down a sound engineer who recorded it. That album, the special album from 1964. So it's a 75-year-old man named Michael Scott Goldbaum.
Michael Scott?
Michael Scott, yeah, literally. So Goldbaum confirms that he had in fact made that, and
he's like, I remember being in the stew because I was in a crib.
He
and
did
they put a mic above the crib.
He did in fact hold a microphone in front of a giggling baby decades ago. But when asked who the baby was, he said, I honestly do not remember. It was so long ago, and I've recorded so many people.
It was just him record. It wasn't. He wasn't the baby.
He wasn't the baby.
Who's the baby?
The baby's identity remains a mystery to this day.
Oh, that's not fun.
So
who is that baby?
It was 1964 when
Where
it was recorded.
Let's find all the babies.
Well, they have the information. I don't know. There's got to be a paper trail somewhere. So, but this investigation was like long. I didn't see the year that it was posted, but I did read the article and it was actually kind of interesting because I'm like, I love like a rabbit hole. Because who would have
You
knew?
do.
Who would have knew you're sitting there one day watching Dr. Dolittle and you're like, who
If
is this
I
baby?
let this go.
And then you know where you end up? At Shel Silverstein's house, because Shel Silverstein lived next door to the guy who recorded the 1964 Volume 8 album. And Shel Silverstein's voice and noises that he made, like Foley artist style, was actually on different albums that that same guy had recorded. And it's uncredited. Crazy. Who knew? Who knew? By Pink. So that is my song, and I'm adding it to the album.
Your
We
research.
love you, Aaliyah. I love you.
Your research is always just head and shoulders above anyone else's. You are just a triumph in the research space.
Thank you. I know.
My song this week is a little different, but something that's been stuck in my head all week. The song this week for me is Young Folks by Peter, Bjorn, and John. I can't whistle.
One of my former take a hikes was songs with whistles in it. That was like episode 3, but this one I'll give a pass.
And we don't care about the young folks talking about the young style. And we don't care about the old folks talking about the old style too. Oh, wait, you guys know this song? You are so cool.
It was really hard to do that because I was
it's
smiling.
perfect.
And the thing
It
is,
was
if
perfect.
you're gonna whistle, you can't smile. So you can whistle when you're really happy, but
Whistle
you're
at
not
work.
smiling.
But
Yeah.
whistle at your work has always been a happy thing to do, I guess. That was really talented. Thank you for
Thank you.
doing that. That was fun to watch.
I can make something else whistle.
Let me blow your whistle, baby, whistle, baby. Timberland.
Oh,
It all comes back to Timberland. But not in this song. This song came out in 2006.
that wasn't Timbaland. That was Flow Rider.
Flowrider. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, continue.
God, can you talk about my song now?
Yeah.
So the song came out in 2006.
Best year.
Hey, Grace. Best year for music. I have them trained. Young Folks is the first single from the Swedish band Peter, Bjorn, and John. It's their third album called Writer's Block. And the single features Victoria Bergsman, formerly of the Concretes and Taken by the Tree, as guest vocalist. So this was the band's third album. After the second album was such a flop, they were like, we're done. We're actually calling it quits. And they were like, no, we have to try one more time. One more time. And then this song came out and
I'm sorry,
it blew up.
If your second album's a flop and you're ready to give up, like if your first one was good and second album just sucks and you're like, that's it, and you think every single album you're gonna come out with is gonna be a smash hit, like, come on, guys.
Yeah, but I think it was more that they just didn't feel aligned anymore. It wasn't just that the success. I think they just felt like unaligned with each other. So there's more factors there.
Okay.
Well, the whistle kind of is the biggest part of the song. I think it kind of launched the song. And it's interesting about this whistle because it was originally there as a marker for a future instrument before realizing the band was like, wait, this is exactly what the song needed.
Oh, okay, so they were like, wow, this is whatever instrument goes here, this is what it's gonna sound like. Here's
Yeah,
the melody. And then they left it.
exactly.
Oh my God, who was the whistle? I can't believe we're
So
both doing sound effects and neighbors this whole episode.
the whistle was originally recorded by the bassist. And his last name is like Yidling. And it was supposed to be like later taken over by the frontman Peter Morin, who admitted after touring, I got to get really good at whistling, but at the beginning I was terrible, especially if I had this like cold or a hangover. People were like, "This band sucks. They can't even whistle." Because like it's kind of crazy. Because then it's like when people see it live, they want you to whistle. So like you just did it so good right there. But imagine like going to see them live and they don't do the whistle right.
Oh my God, he better have chapstick.
I know. Well, this song also was the opening song on the pilot episode of Gossip Girl.
Ours, we're very synchronized because this is crazy, Dr. Dolittle.
So the video is really the video is like gross. Not gross. I just don't like the animation style. I also really averse to however the gorillas animate their videos. I've
Can I
said that
see?
before.
Oh, I know the gorillas, but I'm gonna
But
look up
this
what's
video
the
is
song.
it's the song's called Young Folks. But I hate this animation style, and someone on the YouTube comments said something so funny about it, which is exactly what it looks like. So at Tash 3016 said, I love how this animation looks like it belongs on a WikiHow page.
It does. It's kind of like Archer, but I feel like Archer's more like Grand Theft Auto, and this is like a wiki how.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it looks like. So the video, not my favorite, but that song, it's nostalgic and fun, and it feels very springtime. So I'm in my spring music, happy music.
I love that. What's your fun fact about a noise sound effect that was used in a song? Also, if you're listening to this and you think you might be the baby cooing in Aaliyah's song with Timbaland, please let us know. We would
I
love to get your credits on IMDb at the very
I
least.
can't wait to
Wikipedia.
watch you do that for the first time again. It was such a delight.
I'm
You
sick.
rolled your head back. It was almost animalistic. It's
I'm
really
not
a
doing it
joy.
again.
No, it's one and done, but guys, we got it on tape. We still have yet to
We
get
got him, boys.
we haven't gotten the witch's scream yet on tape, but I'll work on it.
Okay, well, give us a 5-star rating and review anywhere you listen to this. If you have crazy neighbor stories, don't hold back. Change their names right on in, and we might read it on our Monday episodes of Trail Mix.
Perfect.
You can go to campcounselorspodcast.com or campcounselorspod@gmail.com. Send us a little email. Oh, you're being so crazy over there. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you Wednesday. We'll see you next week. We'll see you forever. And with that being said, lights out, campers.